Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Mycelia. This is designed by Daniel Greener, and it is published by Ravensburger. But before we talk about that, we just want to remind you to subscribe so you can see all our videos as they come out. Okay, Mycelia.
This game is all about mushrooms. No, not those mushrooms. These are these little anthropomorphic mushrooms running around collecting dewdrops. Alright, so maybe it is those mushrooms. I don't know. Never mind. In this game, it is a deck building game. You're going to start with a 6-card deck. Every turn, you're going to draw 3 of them and do the actions. The actions are going to do things like give you leaves, which are the currency in this game. You're going to use that currency to activate actions as well as to buy new cards for your deck. Alright, then what you're ultimately trying to do is you're going to use those action cards to slide things around, trying to get these little dewdrops on your personal board, your personal little grid, to the shrine portion of your board. That shrine portion basically removes the dewdrop from your board and puts it onto this shrine kind of big construction thing, which is really, really neat. All right, so then what you're going to do is you're going to buy those new cards. Those new cards are going to give you a second way that you can possibly remove some of those dewdrops. So when you buy the cards, it's going to go right on top of your deck, which is nice. You're going to be able to use them right away. On top of that, they're going to do things like for you, like the starting cards that you have, you're going to do more advanced versions of those, maybe give you more leaves, maybe let you slide more things around. But they're also going to allow you to just remove dewdrops from the board completely. Maybe you have to have a certain criteria that you meet. Maybe you can only remove one at a time. Maybe you have to remove a certain pattern. Whatever the case is, you have to remove them in that way. But every time you remove a dewdrop in any way, whether it's through the shrine part of your board or through the cards, they're going to go onto that shrine big board. Based off the number of players, you're going to keep on adding dewdrops until you reach a certain threshold, and then you're going to rotate this thing around. It's going to kick out all the dewdrops that it's collected so far, as well as roll a die. What that die is going to do is it's actually going to repopulate your board with some more random dewdrops in random places, based off whatever the result of the die is. So even when you think you're getting close, more coming at you. So you're going to keep on adding a little bit more dewdrops as you're kind of puzzling this out, sorting things around, sliding things around, trying to get rid of all your dewdrops. The winner is going to be the player who can get rid of all the dewdrops off their board as fast as possible.
There was a mild programming aspect to this game. Like, it's very puzzly, but I really enjoyed that. I'm not very good at programming games because I can't think that far ahead, but I can think a couple of steps ahead, and that's exactly what this game was. It was, like, perfect for my level of that. So sometimes when you buy a card, like Ryan said, you put it immediately on top of your deck, so it is going to be one of the 3 cards that you're going to draw on your next turn. So you might use your current hand to set up for cards you want to buy so you can do another move on that turn. So I just really like that mild programming aspect of it. It was a way, it was mild enough where I could do it and do it effectively. I'm very proud of myself on that. But I actually really enjoyed that aspect of this game.
I like how you have a small deck and a small amount of cards that you're going to buy. A lot of deck builders are kind of big bloated things, which I don't mind for those kind of deck builders, right? You start with a 10-card deck, you draw 5-card hands, and then you kind of buy a ton of cards throughout the game, and then try to kick out old cards and things like that. This is much more thin as far as the deck goes. You start with 6, you draw 3 every turn. There is no cards that allow you to draw more cards. You're just only going to use those 3.
Yeah.
And in that way, your turns go a little bit faster because you're not drawing new stuff every turn. And as far as buying your cards go, you're only going to buy a few throughout the course of the game. 3, 4, 5 cards. Maybe more if you have a certain strategy around that. But you're not going to buy that many cards. Part of that also is going to be because those leaves that you use to buy the cards with, you might be also spending them on those actions that you have. You have these actions below your board. They're going to allow you to do some extra special abilities in addition to what your cards do. Maybe allow you to slide some things around, maybe refresh the card row, and maybe some more things I'll tell you about a little later on.
Yeah, and besides a tiebreaker, leaves aren't anything at the end of the game, so you definitely want to be spending things on buying cards or moving things around. I like that in the game, everybody has that shrine token on their board that they're trying, or mark on their board that they're trying to move, and as part of the game setup, you flip a tile and everybody has to put their dewdrops in the exact same places on their board, so it's like totally fair. But it's really cool because when you move stuff to that shrine and it gets filled up and it gets knocked out, everybody gets those pieces. You get 2 pieces back. So if you're just like kind of out of luck, it's fine because people haven't just won already. They're already getting pieces marked back on their board. And there are places in the board that don't interact with any colors. So a lot of the cards interact with certain colors on the board, but there are these color spots on the board that no card interacts with. So you have to manipulate that even further with that. I just like that. I mean, we were playing a round once where I had cleared out my board. I completely cleared it out. But the game's not over until the end of the round. So it hit that marker. So I got 2 things back on my board. So Ryan still had a chance to try to catch up with me on that. So that's what I'm talking about. It was really neat.
All right, so built into the game is there's kind of this mini expansion. So the cards, everything we've talked about thus far is but just the base game. But it has these, what they call the extension. The extension is a new batch of cards that you can shuffle into the main deck of cards. And those provide accelerated, more advanced, more complicated versions of the original cards. Then they introduce things like kind of culling out some of the weaker cards from your deck. They introduced another aspect of this: when you purchase a card for the first time, there's a one-time benefit that happens when you buy it. And some of those benefits are new action tiles along the bottom of your board. So the first 2 we talked about are the ones that you can refresh the board and maybe do a little bit of sliding. But the other ones do all new actions and new things that you can do as well. So I think that when you add in that extension, you've kind of ramped up the complexity just a little bit. I recommend putting that in there once you're familiar with the base game and played that a couple of times. Then add in the extension. You're going to have a lot more fun as you kind of grow into that. And especially if you're familiar with deck builders, those kinds of concepts of culling your deck and things like that are going to make more sense. So you're going to want to put those in as soon as you can to maximize your options.
Overall, I was actually pleasantly surprised with this. I really liked it after like the second or third turn I had and I understood the game completely. I really liked it. It's lighter than I was anticipating, but I still really enjoyed it. There is a solo mode in the game, and I haven't had a chance to play that, but if that is something you are interested in, let me know in the comments below, and I can get a few plays in of that and let you know my thoughts on that. I think it's a win-lose type of solo play that I can definitely do if that is something you are interested in. But overall, I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it.
This game confused me.
He's still confused.
And I'm not talking about the rules. The rules were actually really, really well written in a way that we both clicked instantly. Yeah. I read through the rules cold and just got it right away. Oh. I taught it right away.
Not just that, but the rules also said in the very beginning what was solo. So you didn't have to wonder when we were setting things up what that was
Which
for.
Which I really appreciate.
Yes.
And you kind of had a little section explaining what deck building was as a concept if you had never experienced that before. So it was a great rule book. Really, really wonderful. This game confused me in as far as what my thoughts are on it. Like, it was unlike any other game I've ever played. And I've played a ton of deck builders. I love deck building games. It's just very peculiar. It's the best way I can use to describe it. But the thing is, I haven't stopped thinking about it since I first played it, which tells me there's something there. There's an interesting hook there that has me thinking on it and mulling on it and considering my thoughts on it, which means that's the mark of a good game.
Yeah.
It's not a forgettable game. It is a weird, interesting, peculiar game. So I've been thinking about it, and I think that I dig it. I dig this weird little game. It is a small deck for deck building. It has this kind of puzzly, slidey programming thing going on the board. The combination of those two, I've never seen anything like that before combined. I dig it. I like it. I think it's interesting. And I think that if you are a deck builder fan and you want something that's kind of a family weight, but wants a little twist to it, this has got it. This has got it in spades. The art is cute. The board has a great table presence. And the deck building is unique and fun.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.